Good morning, my magnificent ones. Sue Paulson here, your magnificence mentor. I think this is episode 25 of our Heaven on Earth series. Wow, the time goes by fast when you're having fun. Today, I want to talk about desire. What triggered this was remembering a television series that I watched on Netflix called Lucifer. Now, Lucifer, of course, was the fallen angel. And in this series, Lucifer is Lord of Hell. But he's not that happy with being in hell. So he comes to planet Earth to have some fun. Now, he had a particularly unique ability, which was to look deep into a person's soul, past all of their filters and blocks, and ask the question, what do you desire? Well, of course, there's this penetrating gaze into the person that he's looking at, and their soul just opens up, and all of a sudden they respond and are shocked by their response because they had never voiced that desire before. Well, it was intriguing to think about this because the question wasn't, well, what would you settle for? It was, what do you truly desire? Well, how often do we ask ourselves that question? A number of years ago, I was faced with sorting out what it was that I really wanted out of my life. And we all come to these pivotal moments, right? Where we're soul searching a little bit, or maybe life isn't turning out the way we want it to. And so we struggle to figure out, well, what's next and what's there for me, and so on. And of course, we have all of these seeming barriers to not only getting what we want, but initially just even asking for what we want. Well, as I was thinking about this and mulling this over, I came to the realization that I had stopped dreaming. I had stopped even thinking about what I most wanted, and instead just was doing my best to go with the flow of the universe. I have this abiding belief that we co-create with the universe. Well, essentially, I had just turned myself over to the universe and I said, well, I trust that you'll give me what's most important. And so, whatever happens, that's going to be good. Well, didn't work out that well, quite honestly. And there were lots of times I'm going, what? What? Well, I didn't want that. Well, the universe is saying, well, okay, we just thought you were just gonna leave it up to us. And so here's what's on tap for today. And I'm going, wow. It's like going to a restaurant and you can't figure out what you want based on what's on the menu. Well, you have to pick something. Otherwise, you get up and you go away hungry. So at some point, we're compelled to decide. And you know as well as I do, because you've experienced this the same as I have, that if you don't decide, chances are pretty good somebody else is going to decide for you. So how many times have you been having a conversation with your partner or your buddy and say, well, what do you want to do tonight? And each one, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? And back and forth you go. Well, sometimes nobody makes a decision, and so you sit there kind of disgruntled because you wanted to do something, but you end up doing nothing because nobody will make a decision. Well, I've been there, yes. So that's not much fun. Or because there's something you would really like to do, but you don't think your partner is willing to go along with it. You never say. And so, oh well, you decide. So they decide and pick something that you don't want to do. And either you go along begrudgingly or there's a big battle about that. And then the end result is not good. So let's think about your desires for a moment. Well, first of all, what's in the way of you getting what you most desire, or even expressing, well, this is what I really, really want? Well, our level of unworthiness or the sense that we don't deserve it can be high on the list. I know that's one of the big ones that I've worked through for really all of my life is, well, I don't think I deserve that, or well, I don't think I've done enough to make that a possibility, or whatever. And so I would have all of these reasons why I couldn't have that. So what's the point of asking for something that you can't have? Well, how do you know you can't have that? Well, you don't. You don't know you can't have that. So at least that's been my experience. I don't know that I can't have that. But if I never ask, I don't even have a possibility because it's not on my radar. So we look at what's in the way. And of course, if life has not been turning out for you exactly the way you'd like, even though you didn't ask for it to turn out better than that, then it's easy to fall into distractions. So we have a myriad of possibilities to distract ourselves these days. There are video games, and there are all kinds of out and about things in the world that we can go to just take our minds off the fact that life is not turning out kind of the way we want it to turn out. And then we get up the next day and do the drudgery all over again, and then look for ways to distract ourselves in any downtime. And of course, we buy into the notion that, well, life is proceeding the way it is because we have to do this and we have to do that. And we absolutely can't escape doing that. And well, when is there time left over to do what you want to do? Well, really, there isn't any, because I have all these obligations and all these commitments. And whew, no wonder we have difficulty living heaven on earth, because we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by everything outside of us, and we're not willing to accept responsibility for the fact that it's up to us to decide. It's up to us to say, this is what I want, or something better. So in any given moment, this is what I want. So I was challenged with an exercise when I first started reading this wonderful series of books called The Way of Mastery, where there's a lot of great ideas on how to get your chance at, well, what's heaven on earth like to me, and to try on your own magnificence, and all of that. So this particular exercise was the challenge to every morning, before you do anything else, like you're getting out, before you're going to get out of bed and start your day, you have a little notebook beside you and write down what it is you most desire. And you can, this is your opportunity to dream. And now I know you've done something like this. If you've ever wondered, well, if I won the lottery, what would I spend the money on? Well, most people don't have any difficulty. I do this, I buy a house, I get a boat, I help my family, and so the list goes. And pretty soon, if it was $1 million, you've spent your $1 million in your mind, right? So you have the ability to do this. So you just write your list, and preferably no filters. Just write this list down. And then you close the book when you've got all your list of, and it can be anything that you desire. You put it on that list. And then the next step is the next day. So you do this for a week. So every day you just write down what your desires are. Now you may find, and you don't pay attention to the ones you wrote on the previous days. You just start a new page and carry on. Then on the 7th day, you go back and review each of those pages, and you look for the common ones. You look for ones that repeat themselves. Oh, that that particular thing is on there 5 times. And so, well, I wonder how I would go about getting that. So a pattern starts to emerge. So if you did this for a period of about 3 weeks and then reviewed all of them and boiled them down to, well, essentially, here's what I most want. Then, of course, you have a bit of a roadmap in front of you. You have a destination. Well, I want that. You may or may not know at that point how to get there, but the fact that you've seeded it and you've kept repeating it, it seeds it in your mind and then communicates without you even really being that aware of it, communicates to the universe, okay, this is what's important to me. Then, of course, the work begins of, well, how do you go about doing your part to get that? Because in a co-creation, your main job to start with is to figure out what you want, what you desire. And then, of course, okay, what can you do? Because you're the legs on planet Earth, right? If you're going to have that, bring that into reality, then there's a role to play in that. And we're going to get to that in another video. But this is what I want you to focus on for this week is your desire. If you'd like to find out more, if you'd like to take a little more of this journey, I want to let you know that I've started a workshop series. This is a free online 90-minute workshop series that runs the first Monday of every month. So starting March the 4th in 2024, we're going to do actually the second in the series. In February, I introduced the Magnificence Matrix, and then we're going to start with the first one, the next one on March the 4th. So you're welcome to register if you would like to participate in that series. The whole focus of the series is to create heaven on earth. And how would we go about doing that? How would we tap into our own magnificence, embrace it, and then just keep working towards bringing about heaven on earth for each one of us? Just go to the website magnificencelab.org/workshop. You'll see all the details there, and you can hit the button to register. Now, once you're registered as a participant, it will give you access to the replays of any that have gone before. And each one I'm designing as a standalone workshop. So even if you've missed the others live, then you can always go back and of course you can jump in at any time. So that's the first Monday of the month. March 4th is the next one. I look forward to seeing you there, because it's together that we can learn to uncover and embrace this magnificence that's in each one of us. And of course, I don't know about you, but I'd like company in my version of heaven on earth. See you next time.